Hello everyone, it's Lauren again. I hope you guys are doing well, and I make videos on my experiences with autism and the importance of doing your best to live a healthy lifestyle with autism. And my goal in sharing these is not to provide a substitute for medical or psychological counseling. It's to give hope and let other people know that they can live a good life with autism, and to share my experiences, and hopefully other people will learn from that. Well, I was diagnosed with a condition called pervasive developmental disorder back in 1987, and pervasive developmental disorder used to be a group of disorders that were developmental in nature, and autism was at the time considered as a form of pervasive developmental disorder, but I was never given the autism diagnosis because I never had enough criteria at the time to be classified as autistic. But when Asperger's syndrome was introduced in the diagnostic criteria in 1994, I was given that diagnosis, and now everyone that had all those symptoms are classified as with autism from level 1 to 3, level 1 being the least severe to level 3 being the most severe. And the title of this video is something that everyone needs to know is one of the most important things that we need to do in dealing with autism, and that is taking care of your health. I've always been a believer in doing your best to stay healthy since I was in late elementary school, and it was around that time that I found myself becoming a health nut. When I was younger, I struggled a lot with the sensory issues, and I couldn't play sports very good because of my sensory issues, but I like to do other things that in the way of being active. I like to play tag. I like to roller skate a lot. So back in the day when I was younger, my family always took me roller skating because that was one way that I could get exercise and I didn't feel the intense sensory overload. Being a health nut for all these years, I've discovered that if you can do your best to take care of your health, it is not going to cure any chronic medical condition that you have, but it can make you deal with things easier. When I exercise, I usually like to do stuff like walking and skating, as I mentioned earlier, lap swimming and running, and I ran track. I was in 8th grade, even though that itself was kind of stressful for me. Not only do I feel like I can deal with things better when I do those types of exercise, but when I do, I feel like I can deal with sensory overload better. And as I've matured, a lot of the sensory stuff has stabilized, and I just try to deal with it the best I can. When I was younger, I was a very picky eater, and if something didn't taste right, I would gag. And I forced myself to eat healthy, and I knew that my consequences of being a picky eater would affect my health long term, and that's why I oftentimes forced myself to eat healthy even when I didn't want to. When I was a baby, my mom and my grandmother had to take me to McDonald's to get me to eat something halfway decent. And I've discovered this as I gotten older, and maybe it's just me, I don't know, but it feels like so many people in our area are unmotivated to get healthy the right way. They don't have time, they can't afford it. Well, what I've discovered is that you can dodge that bullet. I'm a firm believer that you can make time and money to take care of your health. I've done it. As far as watching what you eat, it's really hard to do. But if you watch what you eat and try to cut certain foods out, I feel like it's not only helps me to deal better with meltdowns and make them less intense, but it also helps with my bladder problem. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie, I love Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi, and I drink it more than what I should. But what I have noticed about it with myself is that I do tend to feel more irritable when I drink stuff like that over water, and it makes meltdowns more intense, and I don't sleep good at night either. So number 2, I'm just going to strongly suggest this, even though it's a lot of work and time consuming, make a garden. I mean, you don't have to like make a big one. If you can eat food that you grow yourself, it's so much healthier for you. And not only is it healthier, but it tastes better and it's safer, because when you buy stuff at the store, you don't know where it's come from and what it's got on it. I believe that my family is healthier because we eat on a garden. And I strongly believe that one of the reasons that my grandmother lived to be 96 is because she always ate fresh vegetables and worked hard her whole life. Now, number 3, as for gym memberships and personal trainers, yes, that can be very expensive. But suppose you don't have the time or the money for a gym membership. What can you do? Look at stuff on YouTube. That's the best way to go. I look stuff up on YouTube all the time, and I do exercise videos all the time on YouTube, and it's amazing. And also, if you don't have time for a long workout, what you can do is carve out 30 minutes of your time daily to walk. And if you don't have a gym membership, what you can do is go walk outside and set a timer on your phone for 30 minutes and listen to music if you want to. And also, if you don't have the room to go out where you live at to do it, go find a public park and do it. It's amazing. Okay, so you can say, well, you can't afford to eat healthy. You can dodge that bullet. My mom shops at cheap places to get groceries, and it's amazing how much money you save when you do that. Also, I would strongly recommend using coupons and taking advantage of cash back. And if you can, try to eat out less, because not only is it expensive over time, but there's a lot of preservatives in the food that you can eat at restaurants. Number 5, a very important one. If you or a loved one have autism, prioritize sleep. I noticed this for me. When I sleep well, I feel better. And that means a less intense meltdown for me. Number 6, simple acts of kindness work well too. Because when you can help somebody out, it boosts your mood too. 7, do not neglect regular medical and dental checkups. These are vital to taking care of your health. And if you can't afford it, look for affordable options in your area. And this is where you should take advantage of the idea of saving what little bit of money you can. Also, remember that the autistic body works different than a normal person. And because of that, it is very vital to take care of your health. And if you are a caregiver or someone that works with people on the spectrum, when you take care of yourself, you're going to feel less stressed. And when you feel less stressed, you're going to feel less irritable, and you're going to be easier to get along with. And that makes it easier to deal with your autistic people. In conclusion, ignore the misconceptions about taking care of your health. You can still do it no matter what your lifestyle. And taking care of your health is vital to learning how to become independent when you're on the autism spectrum. Thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day. Bye.